I'm going to start talking. She's going to start barking. Yep, that's right.
Welcome back, everybody. For those of you who may be new, I'm Jenna, this is Andy, and we are a couple travelers. Today we are going to be reviewing the Discovery Jeep Safari Tour that we recently did during our stay at Sandals Barbados.
Yeah, this is the second review video that we're doing from our excursions at Barbados. We just recently posted one from our Sun Sand Snorkeling Excursion, which was fantastic, and that video is linked below.
Yeah, and when we planned our trip, we immediately knew we wanted to do that Sun Sand Snorkeling Excursion, but then knowing that it was just like a day out on the water, we did want to explore a little bit of the island of Barbados itself. So we booked the half-day Discovery Safari Tour that took us around for about 4 hours.
Yeah, it was a really good choice on our end, I think. We like to switch it up and make sure we see a lot of the culture of the island, and you could get a bit of that on sea, but you get a lot of it on land.
Right, yeah. So for this tour, it was $84 a person, and again, was for 4 hours, and it included some drinks, some rum punch, some local snacks as well, and then, of course, the tour, and then we gave gratuity for our driver at the end as well, but great excursion overall, and we will take you start to finish through our day.
Let's go. So to start our day for this Jeep excursion, we went to the lobby of Sandals Barbados to the Island Routes desk, which is where you start every excursion, and that's where you check in, make sure everything is still on time. So we hung out in the lobby of the resort for a little bit, and then the actual Jeeps showed up and picked us up straight from the resort, which was actually a nice perk. We didn't have to go to like a middle point to actually start the excursion.
Right, so since the Jeeps only hold like about 10 to 12 people, I would say, everybody on our Jeep was from our resort. We didn't have to go pick up other people at other resorts like you do on other excursions that fit more people. So you got to start your excursion like right there from your resort.
Yeah, and right off the bat, we knew we had a really good driver. They're all locals. They're all professional, really knowledgeable and well-trained about the country.
I wish I remembered his name.
Yeah.
Like we have photos and videos of him. He was excellent. He was funny.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable. And whenever we would be driving, he would be telling us about the places we were driving through and teaching us how to say some words in Bajan. Mm-hmm. Is that how you say it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like really fun.
One of the jokes that I remember that stuck out to me was we have Barbados air conditioning here, and it's just like an open-air Jeep.
Oh.
So it's like, you appreciate those little touches. But we left the resort and then just went straight. The excursion started right from that point. We started to see some of the surrounding towns, and it was a really good initial look at the culture.
Right, and we drove through the sugar estates, they called it, which was really cool.
So the first stop of the Jeep tour was the Bathsheba Shoreline, and at least in my opinion was like probably one of the most breathtaking,
it was beautiful,
vistas that I've ever seen. Like it was pretty quintessential what you think of when you go to the Caribbean.
Right, yep, there were palm trees, it was just beautiful ocean. They had these really cool like rock formations that were like it definitely was, that was like part of the description. It was like, that's like
it's something that Barbados is very famous for, and I wish we could remember the name, but you'll see it in the video clips that we have here. It was awesome, and there were some local vendors there like selling art.
And when we first arrived, our tour guide was really great and asked us if we needed water, and also provided us with some delicious rum punch.
Yeah, and we actually learned on this tour too that Jenna mentioned we went through like all the sugarcane fields. That's the main export of Barbados, and that's because so they're known for their rum because you use the sugarcane to make rum, or at least a part of it.
I'm sure there's gonna be sugar in that.
They're famous for their sugarcane and their rum, and you saw a lot of it, both of those things on the island. So that was the first stop.
And the second stop was at Bath Beach, which was another very scenic spot.
Yep.
And we caught up with a couple other Jeep safaris, like through Island Routes. So like the other people who were from our resort, like, because I think there were like 2 or 3 Jeeps that picked us up that morning. So like we all kind of arrived at that beach at the same time. And you had a little bit of downtime if you wanted to swim. So like we brought our bathing suits. Nobody from our tour that day ended up swimming. We kind of just, everyone walked around and took pictures and everything. And they gave us some local snacks, like plantain chips and these like little cake sugar things.
Yeah, it's almost like a Baby Ruth bar. It's kind of what it reminded me.
Did it have chocolate?
What's the one that has like, it's just the caramel or like the nougat with nuts around it? Isn't that a Baby Ruth? This was a year ago.
Yeah. We weren't vlogging then, so like
that's right.
When we review excursions from now on, like we won't be sitting in our dining room area in our kitchen.
We won't be quarantined.
Yeah, so we will be actually vlogging from the excursion, which will be a lot more entertaining to watch.
That's right.
Stay tuned for that.
So thank you for sticking with us.
But yes, Bath Beach.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Awesome.
And I think because nobody swam here, I think that's why we had a little bit of extra time and then could make our third stop.
Yes, and that third stop was Hacketts Cliff. And I didn't know flying into Barbados how much terrain there was on the island. Like we went up some pretty decent sized mountains, and so this cliff was obviously on top of a mountain, but the view that you got,
so pretty.
Whoa. Yeah,
I mean the pictures and everything that we have, like that's why it's one of my favorite stops, because it was just a magnificent view.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
And they had so like there was an area like an overlook to get photos and stuff, and then like you could kind of go down a little bit, and there were a couple of graves there. Like one of them is Hackleton, and they're like people who died in the 1600s and everything, and they had like their little story there.
Like European explorers who first kind of, I guess, found or settled on Barbados. So you got it was very big in Bajan folklore, apparently. But it, aside from that, it offered some pretty cool views.
Yeah, and then after that, it was just, we got back in the Jeeps and made our way back to the resort. Of course, it was all very scenic, and I was just very happy that we got to see some of the island, learn a little bit about the culture, especially from our awesome tour guide, and it was a really nice supplement to the sand snorkeling excursion that we had done a few days prior.
Completely agree. Like we said at the top, like we think it's very important to understand the culture of the places that you go. So any which way you could do that, be it a Jeep tour like this or a walking tour through like a downtown district where you can see the shops and the vendors.
Right.
A lot of Sandals resorts offer those types of things. So try to take advantage of them.
Exactly. And when we went to Sandals Grand Antigua for our honeymoon, we did their land and sea tour through island routes, which basically in Barbados was combining the sunstand snorkel and the Jeep safari tour.
Yeah.
So the one in Antigua, the land was doing a Jeep safari tour around Antigua, and then the sea part of that day was getting on a catamaran.
Right.
You had lunch, and then you snorkeled. So you had the best of both worlds in that one excursion, and we loved it so much that we did the 2 different ones in Barbados so we could kind of get the same experience.
So that was our recap of our Jeep safari tour of Barbados. Would you do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I loved the excursion, but if you only have enough in your budget for one excursion in Barbados, I think your money is better spent on the sun sand snorkeling excursion than the Jeep safari. Do you agree? It kind of looks like you don't.
No, I actually do, because I would do it again if budget wasn't a factor.
Of course,
right?
Yes.
But with that point, yes, I agree that your money's probably better spent on the snorkeling tour. But by no means does that take away from the credibility or the experience that we had.
By no means.
With the Jeep tour. Again, the guides were top notch. They were fantastic. So it's whatever your cup of tea is, whatever you're kind of feeling for that trip. We recommend both. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've been on a Island Routes tour on Barbados, tell us in the comments what tour that was and what you thought of that experience. And if you're looking to go on a trip to in the future, hit up Jenna.
Yeah,
she'll help you out.
I am a travel agent, for those of you who do not know, and I will put my contact information down below. About half of the Sandals Resorts are open right now, and so if you're interested in planning a vacation, it's great to work with a travel agent who can help you figure out, you know, what's new, what's different because of COVID, what you need to do on your end before you travel. So if you're interested, contact information down below.
And her services are completely complimentary.
Yes.
So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on social media at A Couple Travelers.
And until next time, keep traveling.